I think we got all the bugs worked out. Thanks for coming
Nice.
to talk to us about HEX, something we're all interested in. You
Yeah,
can't.
thanks for having me on.
No problem. Thanks for coming on. The price chart. I know you say you don't look at the price chart, but it is something. It is really something remarkable.
It is, yeah. What I really mean is I don't pay attention to like the day-to-day fluctuation so much. But that was true with me of crypto before HEX.
Okay. What was your strategy in crypto before you got into HEX?
HODL.
HODL. That's the strategy I always talk about too.
Buy stuff that you think will perform well in the long term and just hold on. I was never really a trader. I guess I've, made some trades or particularly like swings. I've made some like swing trades, but never really like that's where I relied. I never relied on trading for income.
Right.
I sometimes took profits from one thing that performed very well and bought something else that I thought would perform well or better, but never really traded to trade for income.
Yeah, I don't. A rule of thumb, I don't sell crypto. My first couple years in crypto, I looked at my order books and I just sold, bought and sold and bought and sold. And if I had never sold, I'd have so much more money today because I look at my order books from just 2 years ago selling Ethereum for a couple $100 a piece, So hodling works. It really does. It's better. It's so much better than leverage trading, which is another thing I like about HEX. You're not leveraging.
Yeah. So I mean, I know that there are a lot of people involved in HEX, especially Richard wants people to be able to trade HEX on margin or on with leverage. So that's definitely something that's going to happen at some point. It's just that that's not like encouraged behavior.
Encouraged behavior in HEX is to hold for longer because
you're incentivized to stake, because if you stake, you get rewarded with more HEX. Where hodling has been great. If you just hodl, you'll make money in the long term, but it would be so much better if you were rewarded. So for all of the years that I held Bitcoin or HEX and the quantity of my tokens didn't go up, it would have been so cool if, for every so often I was rewarded with more of them for having hodled. And I wasn't.
Every crypto I hold, I like to stake it because it doesn't make any sense to just let it sit. If you can make rewards on it and you can contribute to the ecosystem, you might as well. You earn rewards for it. I do it with ADA. ADA is one of my top holdings, and I don't let it just sit there. I stake it, and every single month I get a pretty good chunk of ADA in interest. So
okay, so sorry, I'm just going to interrupt. Someone in the chat is saying that the YouTube feed got cut. So do you want to check that?
The YouTube feed got cut. Let me check it.
Hi, Rom.
It's working on YouTube.
And Joe. And everyone else.
It's working on YouTube.
It's working on YouTube? Okay, great.
Yep.
Cool.
So, to people who never heard of HEX, exactly what is it?
Okay, so the quickest way for me to explain HEX is just to say that it is a CD or a time deposit. It's a high yield CD or time deposit that's on the blockchain. So it is like any other cryptocurrency that you can just hold and, sell with price appreciation or depreciation, or you have the option of staking it and time locking the asset for a certain amount of time. And you can set the time, it's up to you, 1 day to 5,555 days. And the more that you stake and the longer that you stake for, the higher your rewards are going to be.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the graphs, and it's quite...
it's really simply just the monetization of time.
Yeah. And there's a lot of graphs here. Okay, I had it. It's hexgraphs.com. I'm going to share my screen here and get your input on these metrics.
Okay.
So, okay, let's go to just general graphs here. It's a good website to look at some hex graphs.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's see, hex during the recent crypto sell-off. This is what I mentioned in the beginning.
Yep.
The pink is hex, and the gray is crypto market cap. So as crypto went down, hex was going up.
Yep.
Because I guess hex is not tied to Bitcoin at all. Am I correct?
So I think, that's what a lot of people say. And some of the reason for that is that Hex's liquidity isn't isn't correlated to Bitcoin as much, but it's not really even that, because typically the reason that an asset, that the rest of the crypto market decreases as crypto or as Bitcoin decreases or increases is maybe partly because their liquidity is tied to Bitcoin, but it's also because Bitcoin represents an index of people's belief in in Bitcoin. So if people are nervous about Bitcoin, people get nervous about cryptocurrencies. So Hex is different because people believe it's different. That's really what's going on.
Okay. Well, Hex is backed by CD certificates of deposit.
So no, it's not backed by bank CDs. It is its own CD.
Okay, so it's basically a CD on the blockchain. So it is basically a regular cryptocurrency where the more people buy it, the higher the price goes.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
It encourages people to lock tokens up for even more of a reward, which makes the price go higher as well.
Right. And then because the price of T shares can only ever increase in terms of Hex. So, if Hex were to lose 90% of its value, then the price of T shares in dollars may go down, but it is impossible for the price of T shares to decrease in terms of number of Hex. So the price of T shares in Hex only goes up. So Hex is really correlated to the price of T shares.
Yeah. T shares, I think, is where a lot of people have problem understanding. It basically means timeshare, correct?
It means trillion shares. So every one T share equals 1 trillion shares.
Okay, and here it says shares become more valuable and scarce
over time.
And this is because
when stakes end, when you end your stake, you have to your T shares, the value of your T shares gets dispersed and then goes out to other stakers. So that's kind of what where Hex's price comes from. So if you end a stake, it was a really large stake and it was really long and you had, hundreds of T shares theoretically, right? Then your T shares, the value of the T share gets distributed to the rest of the stakers relative to their T-share holdings.
So if I buy a trillion T-shares, or if I stake
a trillion T-shares, so a trillion shares.
Right. Okay. So if I stake enough hex for one T-share, and you stake enough hex for 2 T-shares, at the end of both of our terms, I'll get a half a T-share because of your investment?
No, so T-shares don't get distributed. All right, let's say that someone's got a stake. Let's say I have a stake that's ending, and I have 100 T-shares, and I click end stake, and so I mint my hex, and then the value of my T-shares gets distributed to the remaining stakers relative to their number of T-shares. So if I still have 2 T-shares staked and you have 1 T-share staked, and just for argument's sake and to make this simple, we're the only people staked, right? Like, let's just pretend this is very early days. Right. Then half of the value of the T-shares goes to, so I have 2 and you have 1. So the value of the T-shares would be split in 3, and I would get 2/3 of it and you would get 1/3 of it.
And the value of the T-shares?
It would go into, the value of the T-shares would be distributed into hex, but the number of hex that you received from the T-share, from the end of the T-shares, would be relative to the number of T-shares that you hold.
So you stake your hex, and hex turns it into timeshares that earn interest over time.
Yeah, so when your hex is
converted back into hex,
that is distributed to the stakers.
And in the meantime, the price of hex goes up, and the price of the T-shares go up. The more people participating in stake.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I've been watching videos for the past couple of days on hex. Some people are trying to tear it up. A lot of people are raving about it. You can't argue with the fact that it has done well. I think a lot of people are just waiting to see what happens within like the next year with hex.
For sure. I mean, and I think that a lot of people have been waiting. A year ago, people were saying, I'm going to wait and see what happens a year from now. And, I'm like, anything is possible, right? So I haven't ruled out the possibility that things don't work out, because you never know, right? But I mean, I am pretty convinced at this point that the people who are going to say, oh, I'm just going to wait another year and see what happens, are going to wish that they had acted sooner, in the very much the same way that the people who said, I'm going to wait and see what happens with Bitcoin, wish that they had waited.
Yeah,
hadn't waited.
I'm certainly getting some. I don't usually use Binance, BNB, Pancakes. Is an Ethereum token? Okay, I can use my MetaMask. Okay.
Oh, you know what? So I watched your RG interview early this morning while I was working. I was listening to it, and I know that you were asking if there was a way that you could buy hex without interacting like on Ethereum, because you don't like to use the Ethereum blockchain.
Right.
So you actually can, and RG was like, you used to be able to buy it on Polygon, but you can't anymore. That's actually not true. You can buy hex on QuickSwap, just that a lot of people don't like that, because you give up your admin keys when you operate on Polygon. So you can, though, but you can't stake it when you're on Polygon. So if you were to transfer funds from BSC over to the Polygon network, you could use QuickSwap, buy hex, and then move it back over to Ethereum to stake.
Okay, I'd still have to be. I'd rather then I would just buy it on Ethereum to begin with if I have to
So,
move it back
so
over
yeah,
anyway.
Joe, here's the thing. So someone in the comments, Joe's saying it isn't really hex, it's Polygon hex, like Pulse
Yeah,
hex. Maybe so, but if I move it from Polygon to Ethereum, then it becomes real hex.
yeah.
So,
But you
you
got to,
know,
you end up paying a fee anyway.
yeah, you do. You do end up paying a fee anyway. And Ethereum fees are like reasonable right now. So it's
They
not
are,
necessarily.
yeah, they are reasonable right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no, I'm not saying that like I think that, it's the best idea to buy hex on Polygon. Just like I am often paid in funds that are on Polygon. So it's less expensive for me to just convert them to hex right there and then transfer them as hex.
I'm absolutely going to stake some hex
Mm-hmm.
just to see what happens. A small amount could, I mean, if it continues to do what it says it's going to do and what it has already done, $100 staked might be worth quite a bit if I lock it up for, I don't know, a year.
Yeah, it could. It could. I mean, I think like we're definitely not in the end of, hex. You haven't missed the hex train for anyone who's watching, but
Well, the
as
market cap is
the
what
higher
now?
the price goes and the longer it goes on, the slower the price appreciation, will be. So eventually we will have like a slowing down period where it's not appreciating at 1,000%, 1,000x a year anymore. So that we may not be there yet, but like, a year ago, $100 is now 10,000.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely had a big
So
run.
I don't know if that will be the case
13
again.
billion. This just changed from 9 to 13 billion.
So coin market cap, I think that you talked about this pretty briefly with RG3, but coin market cap actually doesn't report the correct market cap for Hex. So if you don't mind, would you pull up nomics.com instead?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd like the accurate information.
Okay, now scroll down and you'll find Hex at number 4 or number 5, depending on how things are going today.
4.
4, yep, we're above BNB. So market cap is a vanity metric. Ignore it. Yeah. But people are still really interested in it, guys. So
Hex has a 44 billion market cap.
yep, that's right. So coin market cap doesn't report or doesn't include the coins that are held by the origin address in their calculation of the market cap. And that is why Hex's market cap is reported as something like 14 billion instead of 44 billion.
This I had no idea it was so big.
Yep. Few.
How big can Hex get? I mean,
There's no limit to how large it can get. I mean, if you look actually at the market cap of time deposits or of CDs, and then imagine that Hex could take some or potentially all of that market share over a long enough time. And I'm actually not sure. I know that I have looked at that before and I've done some of that math, but I don't have those numbers. I don't remember those numbers off of the top of my head. So yeah, you could, take a look at what the market cap is on CDs, like traditional CDs, and then maybe that could give you an idea of what the market cap of Hex could be.
well, it says here 44 billion.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it the 4th largest crypto.
Yep.
Bigger than Cardano and Binance Coin, Dogecoin, XRP, bigger than USDC.
Yep. Someone just asked, is there a cutoff to stake Hex? I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean, like, is there a date that you have to stake your Hex by? No. You can stake your Hex at any time, and you can stake it for a minimum of 1 day and a maximum of 5,555 days. But if that's not your question, please clarify.
Is there a cutoff to stake HEX? I was extremely disappointed because I held a lot of Bitcoin in December 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And that period ended. I can't collect my HEX.
Yeah. It was really unfortunate that so few people were covering it, and like the people who have the largest audiences weren't telling people, or if they were talking about it, they were saying don't free claim. Why would you ever not free claim? That just doesn't make any sense.
I would have loved to get that if I had known about it, but as of a month ago, nobody's really heard of HEX, and it's number 4 in market cap. That's insane.
Yeah,
but
well, I wouldn't say that
probably
nobody has
just
heard of
became number
HEX.
4 recently because everything else came down while HEX came up. So what was it before the crash? Probably way down in the list.
Sorry, what do you mean before what crash?
What position was HEX at on?
HEX has been a top 10 cryptocurrency for quite some time.
So let me go to.
It was in the top 5 before Big Payday, which was in November of 2020. So Ben says, just a correction, CMC does report the correct market cap, but they manually decide to list it on page 3. That's actually not true. CMC doesn't include the coins held by the origin address in the market cap. So they say that the market cap of HEX is about 14 billion. Even so, it should be page 1. But they do manually hold it on page 3. That still doesn't mean that they report the correct market cap, because they do include Satoshi's million or 1.1 million coins in the market cap. So if they're going to include those, and they're going to include the Ethereum Foundation's however many coins they hold, why not include the coins that are actually liquid, that are circulating supply, even though they aren't currently moving?
I've got here a nomics.com snapshot from January 2021. And HEX is number 7 at 13 billion.
Yep. So look at November of 2020.
Okay.
I know, Joe. I said that. It does not report the correct market cap for HEX. Even with the incorrect market cap that it reports, it does hold it on page 3, because even with the incorrect number, it should still be page 1.
November of 2020, it was number 5.
Yep. And then it fell down because we had the big payday event, which increased the supply. It fell down. You can look at what it was in December, and then you can look again that I believe by January, it was a top 10 or top 15 again, and it's pretty much stayed in the top 10 or 15 since then.
When was HEX released?
HEX was released in December 2019. Is that right, guys? December 6th, 2019, something like that. December 2nd, 2019. Thank you, Joe. Oh, now someone says December 3rd. All right, guys, let's not nitpick. Early December 2019.
I'm just gonna go to. They said December 2019, so let's just go to after it had some time to grow. Let's go to September 2020 or June 2020. After it had about 6 months to grow. Let's see where it ranked at. It's impressive. It's very impressive, the market cap that it has gotten to.
Yeah, it really is.
That's not the right thing.
Okay, so someone says CMC does show the fully diluted market cap correctly. But they don't report that as the actual market cap of circulating supply.
Its coin market cap says 48 billion, fully diluted.
Yep, but they don't report that as the market cap of the circulating supply because they exclude the tokens held by the origin address.
And the origin address is?
The origin address is, so no one knows who controls it. It's speculation that Richard controls 100% of the coins in the OA. We don't know if that's true or not. He says he doesn't, but we don't know.
HEX became number 22 in market cap in July 22nd, 2020. About not even a year after it was born.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite impressive.
Yeah, so Richard says that it was designed to eat market cap. And it's been doing exactly that.
Designed to eat market cap. Can you rephrase that?
So I would say
elaborate.
So it was designed to draw market cap from everything else and to climb those ranks, to increase in market cap because of the built-in 3.69 annual inflation, and because of the staking rewards, and because of the way that it started with such a incredibly low price. That's very enticing for people.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna see.
Guys, we know, okay? We know. There's all these Hexicans in the chat are like, market cap's irrelevant. Don't talk about it. Listen, market cap may be irrelevant for you, but there are a lot of people for whom who really care about the market cap. So we're going to talk about it, okay?
Because the market cap is huge. So that tells the average retail investor that there's not going to be much gains in it. Because we look for low cap gems, and to the average investor, it looks like HEX is a coin that already pumped, and you don't chase pumps. But it's not like other cryptos, and that's why I had Rob on. That's why I'm having you on. I'm gonna have a couple more people on. I'd like to have a round table because I want to get to the bottom of HEX. I'm buying a little bit. We'll see how that investment works out. I'll share that with the viewers, my purchase and how my purchase works out. I've never chased a pump before in my life, but this seems a little different.
Yep, this pump isn't over.
It's gonna have to go to extremely. I mean, it's to double. It would have to go. Look at the market cap of it. It would have to. Let's see. The market cap is 44 billion.
Mm-hmm.
It would have to go to 88 billion just to double our money.
Yep. And let's say that people from other cryptocurrency, who are holding other cryptocurrencies, are slowly losing their faith in the promises that the, founders and teams behind the coins have made, because those haven't been delivered. And so they're slowly, buying into HEX instead. And HEX is taking the market cap from those coins and adding it to their own. I heard you talk about Atari and how the founders and the whales of Atari all went really heavily into HEX. It was so funny. Someone, maybe it was a year ago, maybe it was a little less than a year ago, someone heavily involved in Atari was like, don't sleep on this. It's going to be amazing. You got to get in. And I was like, you know what? I just don't know enough about it. I research coins before I buy them. I'm comfortable where I am. I hope that you become very wealthy from it. I hope it does everything that you believe that it will do, but I'm just not that confident. and pretty glad that I didn't go in.
Yeah, yeah, you should be. It's a very risky project, very risky, and a lot of red flags going on chain. So there's no tokenomics, but this is not a chat about Atari. This is a chat about Hex, and I'm looking at it in the light that people who bought it last year, they're up thousands of percent. But for me and anyone buying right now, it would have to become the third largest crypto in the world just for us to get 100% profit, just for a 2x.
And in how long has it taken from Hex to, so it's number 4 right now, right?
Right.
So it would need to become number 3. So that means it only has to go up one place. And how long did it take Hex to go from number 5 to number 4?
Well, if that's your thinking, and if that's how you think it's going to go, then you're basically saying Hex is very soon going to flip Bitcoin.
That is the general consensus of most HEXICANs.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah, sure, it is.
That'd be very interesting. So I've been waiting for years for Bitcoin to get flipped because I'm tired of the market being pegged to Bitcoin. There's much better projects out there that suffer when Bitcoin goes down, which Bitcoin should go down. Honestly, it's antiquated. It's just a store of value. It has no utility.
So it does have, the biggest, like the greatest brand recognition. It does have the thing where like governments are beginning to back it and accept it as a form of payment. But what I think is going to be really interesting is that as we see like Bitcoin start to be legally represented as a form of currency, people are going to start to see that it's not really functional as a currency. I suppose that, they're going to do things with Lightning Network but just generally speaking, I've used Lightning and it's not easy.
It's just this Bitcoin's a store of value, and that's it. That's all it is. How is Hex not? Hex doesn't get any value from the fiat system.
Well, sure it does. I mean, as people exchange their fiat or crypto into Hex, that value, yeah.
Right, but the CDs, there's no actual purchasing of any sort of bonds or official anything.
Nope.
No, it's all decentralized and it's all just transaction fees, and that's it. Just transaction fees.
So the way that Hex is distributed to stakers, you mean like the way that the interest is paid? So the interest comes from the 3.69 annual inflation, and then because not 100% of the Hex is staked, the interest paid is higher than that 3.69% because the whole of the interest goes only to those staked. Additionally, people who end their stakes early, when someone ends their stake early, the penalties are distributed to the stakers.
Yeah,
so
I like
one
that.
half of the penalties get sent to the origin address, and then one half of the penalties get distributed to the stakers. Right now, if you need to cash out a CD early, 100% of the penalties go to the bank.
The bank?
Yep.
What bank?
The bank who you purchase the CD from. So if you go to a traditional
in traditional finance.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. If you cash out early, I love the fact that in Hex, if you cash out of your staking contract early, the people that did not cash out early get some of your reward.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
good.
So they call that the truth engine.
So it's basically a smart contract with your standard Pumponomics and incentivized staking. So
Mhm.
taking it off the open market, taking it
Mhm.
out of circulation, even though CoinMarketCap probably considers it in circulation.
No, CoinMarketCap does not consider the tokens that are locked in stakes
Oh,
as
because they're
circulating supply,
burned.
and neither does
Right.
Nomics. So staked coins don't exist because they haven't been minted yet. Those are
Okay.
not counted in the market cap.
Okay. And is there a burning policy, a scheduled burning policy, or some sort of deflationary events?
So theoretically, and we don't know exactly how this is going to work yet, but there is a lot of theory that that any hex that's sacrificed for Pulse will be burned. Staked coins are burned. Yeah. So when you stake your coins, those coins are burned. Like if you have minted coins and then you stake them, they are burned.
Pulsechain.
Pulsechain. Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me about Pulsechain?
Sure. Okay. So the fees for Ethereum fees in general, like, a few months ago when the price of Ethereum was just like going ballistic, were outrageous. And then the Berlin fork made it so that particularly ending hex stakes was just crazy expensive because there were like compounding factors on hex stakes. So in order to combat those fees, because there were a lot of HEXICANS who like didn't have a lot of money early on, who had like created short stakes and were relying on those stakes to pay for expenses that they had in life. And then the fees were so outrageous that they were unable to end their stakes. So, Richard was like, well, we got to do something about this. So he said he's going to fork the entire state of Ethereum. And create so that everyone gets not only a duplicate of their Ethereum, but a duplicate of all ERC20s and ERC771s that they hold on the chain.
Okay.
And so that is what Pulsechain will be.
So he forked Ethereum.
State of Ethereum.
Not Ethereum Classic, not Ethereum Max. He forked Ethereum.
The state of Ethereum.
And its Pulsechain is proof of work, just like Ethereum?
Nope, Pulsechain will be proof of stake. So there are alterations made. Actually, you can go on the test net now.
So they have proof of stake up and running.
It's not functioning. I believe that it is functioning, and there's still some front end work being done, and then also that there's some work being done to get ready for the sacrifice phase.
So Pulsechain is a proof of stake fork of Ethereum that is backwards compatible with Ethereum.
Can you explain what you mean by backwards compatible?
So any Ethereum dApp, say Uniswap, could switch to Pulsechain.
They could operate simultaneously on Pulsechain, and in fact, Uniswap is planning to operate on Pulsechain.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So people ask me sometimes, like, what ERC20s I think will have value on Pulsechain. And I'm always like, you never know. But because we know that Uniswap will be on Pulse, like we know that Uniswap is going to exist on Pulsechain, I'm betting that P-Uni will have value.
Yeah, if Uniswap takes advantage of a proof of stake version of Ethereum. I mean, EIP 1559 is supposed to be launching this month, like in 15 days.
Sure. And yeah, actually, that was something that came up on my most recent appearance on BitBoy's show around the blockchain. And there's like some, contention about whether EIP 1559, or if that's the right combination of letters and numbers, is going to really function the way that they say that it will or not. And then the people on the show didn't really want to discuss that, but a developer reached out to me shortly after and said, hey, actually, you're right. There's a lot of problems with that fork that aren't being discussed. And I need to reach back out to him and see about having him on to explain because he can
Yeah.
explain it much better than I can, of course.
I've talked for hours on my channel about all the problems with Ethereum hard forking. It's not as easy as they're making it sound. They're making it sound like it's just going to be a flick of a button, but anyone that's lived through a hard fork knows it's not. And especially with the largest ecosystem, blockchain ecosystem in the world is Ethereum by far. The most transactions, the most uses is all on Ethereum. And to hard fork that is going to be trouble. Pulsechain seems interesting. If Uniswap's looking at it, that's extremely bullish. I know Uniswap's looking at all the platforms like Phantom and other, other blockchains, Luna. So there's a good future for crypto. But back to Hex, I think my attitude still is, and I think most people's attitude still is, are you really saying Hex is going to flip Bitcoin like
So
relatively soon?
I can't predict the future. I don't know what's going to happen. And there are, forces in power that know things that, we don't have access, like knowledge and things that we don't have access to. So I don't know, I don't know if Hex is going to flip Bitcoin in 2 years or 5 years or 10 years or longer. But
if Hex doesn't flip Bitcoin, then if we buy Hex now and just hold it, we're not even going to make a 10x. It has to flip Bitcoin just to get a 10x. So I don't know, that's not really compelling.
Okay, well, how much does Bitcoin have to go up for you to get a 10x?
A lot. That's why I don't hold any Bitcoin.
Okay.
I mean, the market cap is just too high on Hex for me to say that it can be 100xer still.
Okay, well, I mean, so as most people in the chat have been commenting, the market cap really is like somewhat irrelevant, and like the potential for where it could go, like people like to look at Hex in terms of cryptocurrency, right? Like its market cap in terms of what it's, where it ranks for crypto. But like, look, who's got a link to where that, there is somewhere where you can see Hex's market cap on a much larger scale. Like you see Bitcoin and Ethereum on there, but you also see major companies like, Disney and Ford Motors and gold. Does someone have that link that they can share? Because I don't remember what it is off of the top of my head. But so, I mean, I think that we should be looking at Hex's market cap not just in terms of where it stands relative to cryptocurrency, but where it stands relative to other assets. And also, if there's anyone who has the ability really quick to look up, TradingView. Okay. If there's someone who has the ability to look up where, what the market cap of CDs is, that's a really useful metric to consider. And also 90% of the supply is held by the OA, which is why the market cap is so high. I'm not sure, actually. I'm pretty sure that is why the market cap can increase radically. Okay. CDs in the US and China, the total market cap is 7.2 trillion.
Yeah, CDs is a huge market.
But so imagine that Hex is a CD, or, it becomes like, let's say that more people who lifetime deposits adopt Hex as a CD because they trust the banking system and they would rather be the holder of their own CD. So let's look at the potential market cap of Hex, not in terms of the potential market cap of Bitcoin, but in terms of the market cap of CDs.
I'm just looking at, 44 billion times 1,000 is an extremely high number. Get 1,000x out of Hex still.
So where would that put its market cap?
I'm going to have to use a traditional calculator here. So 44,000 million billion times 1,000 equals a $44 trillion market cap. So you're going to have to like 60x Bitcoin just to have a 1,000x.
And now I'm trying to scroll the comments and I can't, because I'm trying to go back to what was the market cap of CDs in China and the US, and I can't.
Well, that's CDs. This is a
Hex
crypto.
is a CD.
Right. It's a crypto that acts like a CD, and it would have to it would have to, in order to buy it now, to be 1,000x coin. Sometime in the future, if it takes 10 years or 20 years, it would have to be $44 trillion market cap to 1,000x from this point.
Okay.
Can you see where I'm coming from, where with the retail investors looking at this $44 billion market cap and saying, this is just not this too late. We're too late. And
okay, so what you're saying is you're looking for something that's going to 1,000x, and
everybody is.
Okay, but so 100x is not good enough for you?
For it to 100x, it would have to go to $4 trillion. $4.4 trillion. So it would have to 7 or 8x Bitcoin market cap just to get 100x. It would have to flip Bitcoin, which would be the biggest upset in crypto history. Hex would be God. And that's a tall, I mean, I've been around since Bitcoin white paper was released. This would be insane for a crypto that just came out.
So Ben, you're actually wrong there again. The market cap of Hex after you remove the OA addresses is not 200 million. It's the market cap currently reported by CoinMarketCap, which is around 14 billion. That is the market cap of Hex after you remove the OA addresses coins. Not 200 million. Unless I'm wrong. I mean, if there's, so can someone explain if I'm incorrect there? Because I'm pretty sure that the market cap that the market cap metric that CoinMarketCap reports, which is 14 million, not the fully diluted, is excluding the OA's coins.
If it were 14 million, I'd say 1,000x is in the cards. But 44 billion, you're gonna have to 7, 8, 9x the market cap of Bitcoin just to get 100x. For 1,000x, you're gonna have to be $44 trillion in market cap. That would be the biggest upset in crypto history. It would be the biggest news story ever.
So yeah, the staking point also doubles your stack. So it's not just considering the actual, the value of your liquid tokens.
Right.
It's considering the value of your tokens plus the tokens that you get as for staking. So if you actually count that, then like that can kind of help, like it's not just that the value of the token of Hex has to increase. It's that your supply has to increase. So here's the deal, okay? How about this? You don't think it's going to 1,000x, you don't think it's going to 100x, or you think that
I'm not saying that.
Okay. It's extremely unlikely.
Yes, I'm saying it is extremely unlikely that Hex is going to 44x the market cap of Bitcoin.
Okay, so let's talk about just Hex 100xing, so not 44xing the market cap of Bitcoin.
So about
and also considering that Bitcoin's value is also likely to increase, so Bitcoin's market cap itself will go up.
Of course.
So let's say, let's do this. Let's say you're not wanting to buy Hex because you don't think that it will 1000x or 100x, and you would rather buy a token that will. And because of Hex's market cap, you think that it's unlikely. So let's revisit this conversation 1 year from today, and see if you wish that you'd bought Hex or not.
I'm buying a little bit.
Okay, but let's say wish that you bought more or not. How about that?
Yeah, if that happens, I mean.
Okay, so today is July 2nd. July 2nd, 2021. So on July 2nd, 2022, let's see whether you wish that you'd bought more or not.
I think we'll find out sooner than a year what's going to happen with Hex. Whether it's going to, I mean, it's a very tall order. You're talking about 1000xing a.
I'm not saying that it's going to 1000x Bitcoin's market cap in a year. I'm saying that I think that a year from now, you'll wish that you had bought it instead of whatever you believe will 1000x or 100x.
I didn't finish my sentence.
Okay.
It's a very tall order to say that Hex can 1000x when it's at a market cap of $44 billion. I don't think any crypto above $40 billion is going to 1000x within the next 10 years.
Okay.
I believe in diminishing returns and lengthened cycles because that's what the data shows. So if Hex is immune to all things crypto, if Hex is just created by a genius, that, I mean, it would be the new world reserve currency if it flips Bitcoin. I mean, it's a lot to ask for 1000x from a $44 billion coin. And I see people in the chat saying the market cap argument is irrelevant, but it's not. And telling me that is telling anyone who knows anything about crypto that market cap doesn't matter, which it absolutely does.
Okay. So the audit showed that the OA owns almost all of the supply. Yeah, nobody is denying that the OA owns almost all of the supply. No one has ever denied that.
I don't want to roast Hex here.
Mm-hmm.
I like the principles and the concepts. I like how it encourages you to stake it.
Mm-hmm.
I like how it encourages you to focus on your future and not today. I like how it penalizes early exits and distributes your rewards to people who didn't exit early.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a programmer. I like the smart contract. I think it has a lot of potential, but since it's so big now, I think the big pump is over. Just from my experience in crypto, I think the big pump is over. Congratulations to you guys for picking the right project.
So I'm going to, when we get off the phone, I'm going to stake 10,000 hex. The value of 10,000 hex right now is, sorry, I'm going to need to look at what the current price of hex is. Nomics. 0.77. Okay. So I'm going to stake 10,000 hex, which is currently worth about $770 today for 1 year. And then we'll see what that's worth 1 year from today.
I'm absolutely positive you will make quite a profit. Anyone that does, because it's good crypto. I'm just giving a little pushback on the 100x thing. How long do you think it's going to take to 100x if you just hodl and don't stake?
I think that's like, I can't really make price predictions. I don't like make price predictions for short terms. Because markets are irrational, and particularly like when we're talking about liquid markets, it's not a project. It's really important to the HEX community that people stop calling it a project, because projects are under development, and HEX is a complete and immutable smart contract. So it is a product, not a project.
It's HEX nomenclature, yeah. But is it still in development, or
no? It is not still in development. It is a complete and immutable smart contract. Okay, it is not in development.
No governance.
There is no governance. What governance? It's all done. It's all programmed in.
Okay. All right. It was nice talking to you. Interested in Pulsechain. I'm going to look up Uniswap and their plans to get into Pulsechain, because that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So there's some speculation that the project or the products that will do best on Pulsechain are only those that are complete with no admin keys and immutable, and that there are very, very few, and potentially Hex may be the only one. So there's like some speculation that is the only token that will perform well on Pulsechain, and I'm not sure about that. It's something that I'm going to be looking into more.
I'm full-fledged Hex investigation mode. I'm going to be having more people on. I'm going to be talking to...
They would like for you to come join them in Telegram, in the voice chat.
I could do that, but I like face-to-face. I'd rather have a panel of maybe 5 people on a video chat that the world can watch, instead of keeping it in a private Telegram. It's not private.
Telegram's not private. Anyone can join the group, but why don't you go there and go and see if there are some people who may want to join you. I don't know what your availability is like today, but
my availability is all the time. Just send me a Twitter at crypto_lodge, and we'll put a panel together.
Well, so I'm saying that your best bet of getting people to come on your panel,
I'm on the Telegram.
Is to go into the Telegram, go join the voice chat, and just go ask some people if they want to do a panel.
Yeah, I have. I've got quite a few people lined up. I got Rob through Telegram. I got forget his name, and Rob hooked me up with you. I got a couple more lined up. But I want to talk to people outside of the HEX community too, that I know who are very good at analyzing cryptos. And I don't want just a box of people all from the HEX community.
Sure.
That's just, that would just be a shill video. I want people with, I like to play devil's advocate. I like for people to get to the bottom of things. This app is saying, hey, market cap's really high. Do you really think it's going to survive? Is it too late? Are we just chasing a pump? And then have the HEX side saying, no, it's going to flip Bitcoin or something. I mean, I like the HEX community. HEXICANS are great. They've been good to me, very accommodating. They love to spread the message. There's no denying that the chart looks great. So you guys have a lot of attention on you now. I wish you would have extended I wish HEX would have extended the Bitcoin for HEX offer a little bit longer than a month?
In a year? It was a year. There was a year.
Nobody knew what HEX was back then.
Everyone had the opportunity to learn. It was,
But that's like me starting a coin right now and saying any Bitcoin holder can have it, but nobody knows about my coin.
Okay, so it's the HEX community's responsibility that you didn't learn about the airdrop sooner.
I didn't say the HEX community. The developer. I wish HEX, not HEXICANS.
I mean, I believe that Richard made every attempt to get the word out, and
I'm sure he did. I'm
Mhm.
sure he did. But I mean, and that was a great thing. But I can be salty without blaming anybody but myself.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
yeah. Thanks for having me on, and I'll look forward to your panel. You know, I'm a journalist. I started out extremely skeptical as well, and really like every point that was made against Hex, I couldn't really. I went back and forth for quite a while analyzing things. So,
That's what I
I think
do.
I'm going to be interested in following your journey as you do the same.
Yeah. I'll keep on. I mean, I watched pretty much every video I could find all night about Hex, and the concept's very simple. I just think we need to have more of a discussion about it. So I'm getting the people together. You're welcome back on. I'll send you an invite link, and we'll probably be talking about Pulsechain soon too.
Cool. Yeah. Let me know when so that I can plan for it and stuff.
So everybody subscribe to Discourse Syndicate on YouTube. Just type in Discourse Syndicate. That's where you'll find Nicole here.
Yep. I
And
stream on Wednesday nights and Saturday mornings.
cool. And her Twitter handle is at NRDGRL007.
Nerd Girl, no vowels, 007.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Nice talking to you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to talk with you. Have a great
Have a good
day.
day.
Bye.
Bye.